If you're over 60, your morning might be more dangerous than you think. You can wake up feeling fine, pour your coffee, check a few messages, and by lunchtime, find your arm won't lift, your words won't come out right, or the whole room is spinning. I wish I were exaggerating. As a neurologist, I've seen this exact scene far too many times, often in people who thought they were doing everything right. Not because of years of smoking, not always because of terrible diets, but because of small, ordinary morning habits that stack pressure on the brain at the worst possible time, quietly, overnight, and then finish the job as soon as you wake up. Most seniors don't even know they're doing it. Today, I'm going to walk you through 9 common morning routines I've seen linked with strokes in older adults, especially people who consider themselves careful, even healthy. If you've ever believed your routine was harmless, the next few minutes could change the way you start your day and possibly save your life. Before we dive in, if you're new to Inspired Living, I'm Dr. Bill Harrison, a neurologist and healthy aging advocate. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss practical, brain-protective tips made for you. And a quick engagement check to help this message reach more seniors. Have you ever changed a health habit because of a video like this? Type 1 in the comments if yes, 0 if not yet. Let's start with a habit that feels comforting but can quietly set the stage for a stroke when your brain is at its most vulnerable. First, reaching for coffee the moment you wake up. I'm not here to declare coffee the villain, but the timing can be. After 6 to 8 hours without fluids, your blood is naturally more concentrated. Your heart and vessels are coming out of low gear, and your brain is transitioning from the slow rhythms of sleep to the high demands of the day. In that fragile window, a strong jolt of caffeine tightens blood vessels and bumps heart rate when the blood is already thick from dehydration. It's like squeezing a garden hose while demanding more water pressure. The flow becomes turbulent, and in some people that's the moment tiny clots form or move. I once cared for a retired engineer, military precise, healthy weight, walked every day. His routine was simple: sit up, pour a stiff cup of black coffee, then get moving. One morning, the words wouldn't come. The scan showed a small clot in the language center of his brain. His cholesterol wasn't terrible. His scans didn't show years of neglect. What he did have was a risky morning combination: overnight dehydration, immediate caffeine, and mild, long-standing high blood pressure. The scales tipped. The fix isn't complicated. Hydrate first. Sit up slowly. Drink a full glass of room-temperature water, and give your system at least 30 to 45 minutes before that first cup. If blood pressure is a concern, ask your doctor how much caffeine is safe for you, or whether decaf in the early morning is wiser. Coffee can be part of a long life. It just shouldn't be your first act when the brain is still waking up. Quick check-in. Be honest. Do you hydrate before caffeine? Type 1 if yes, 0 if coffee still wins. Now to a habit that looks even more innocent, because it's not about what you drink, but how fast you move. Second, standing up too quickly after sleep. When you've been lying down, gravity hasn't had much to say. The instant you sit or stand, blood briefly shifts downward. Younger bodies tighten vessels and speed the heart within a second or two. With age, that reflex, called autonomic response, slows. The result? A sudden drop in brain blood flow. In some, it's a few seconds of gray edges and dizzy vision. In others, especially with narrowed vessels or rhythm issues, it's enough turbulence to encourage a clot to form or move. I think about an 84-year-old piano teacher, sharp, independent, stubborn in the best way. She woke, swung her legs out of bed, and stood. No pause. The room tilted. She kept walking. Minutes later, she was on the floor. Her stroke wasn't inevitable. It was avoidable. If she had taken 60 seconds on the edge of the bed, breathed deeply, let her system catch up, she might be practicing scales today instead of practicing balance exercises with a walker. What to do? Make a ritual of it. Wake, sit, breathe, Flex your hands and ankles, roll your shoulders, take a sip of water, scan your body. If you feel even slightly lightheaded when you stand, sit back down and try again. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. Engagement nudge. Do you ever feel dizzy in the morning? 1 for yes, 0 for never. There's another quiet stressor almost no one talks about because it's not in your head, it's in your lower belly. Third, delaying that first trip to the bathroom. A full bladder isn't just uncomfortable, it's hemodynamic. In older adults, bladder distension can trigger nervous system reflexes that either dip blood pressure or spike it. If you're already slightly dehydrated, that extra pressure can create choppy flow through stiff arteries. Turbulence is where clots form and lodge. I cared for an avid reader who loved early mornings in his armchair. He ignored the first urge to urinate, finished a chapter, drank coffee, and an hour later couldn't lift his arm. He didn't fall. He didn't feel chest pain. His morning, like many, was a stack of little strains: full bladder, thick morning blood, immediate caffeine, and an older vascular tree. The combination found a weak link. Your simplest safeguard? Make the bathroom your first stop. Before the phone, before the coffee maker. Relieve pressure, then hydrate. If you're waking often at night to urinate, tell your doctor. Nocturia can hint at issues worth fixing before they become crises. You might be noticing a theme. Fluid status matters. Which brings us to the most underrated protection of all. Fourth, skipping your morning glass of water. People tell me, I'm not thirsty when I wake up. That may be true, but your blood is. Overnight, you lose fluid through breathing and skin. Your brain, which demands steady oxygen and glucose, relies on smooth, free-flowing blood. Dehydration concentrates platelets and clotting proteins. Add the natural morning blood pressure surge, and you've created exactly the environment a clot likes. A retired firefighter once told me, "Doc, water's for later. Coffee wakes me up." He collapsed halfway down the driveway one spring morning. He recovered, but not fully. He now walks with a cane and tires easily. He told me in rehab, eyes wet with regret, "If someone had said one glass of water could change the odds, I would have done it every day." Make it effortless. Set a glass on your nightstand before bed. When you wake, drink 8 to 10 ounces before anything else. Your brain isn't asking for much, just a small, consistent act of care that lowers thickness, steadies pressure, and clears the fog. Okay, what if you're the "I like to earn my coffee" type who goes straight into a hard workout? That brings us to a hidden culprit with good intentions. Fifth, jumping into intense exercise too soon. Movement is medicine. But timing and ramp-up are prescriptions too. The first minutes after waking are a physiological gray zone. Vessels are still constricted from sleep, hydration is low, rhythm is slow. Launching into vigorous treadmill walking, heavy yard work, or interval training is like stomping the gas in a cold engine. Pressures spike, plaque can crack. A small fragment becomes a traveling clot, sometimes to the heart, sometimes to the brain. One disciplined retiree did 20 brisk minutes on the treadmill every morning. No water, no breakfast, just to shock my system awake. One morning, it shocked back. He survived his embolic stroke, but his right hand never fully recovered. He now walks after breakfast, stretches first, drinks water. He does the same routine, just smarter. If you love morning exercise, keep it. Just give yourself a 20 to 30-minute runway. Hydrate, sit upright. Do gentle range of motion work. Then ease into your pace. And if you're on medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or rhythm, avoid fasted hard workouts unless your doctor says it's safe. We've covered physical stressors. Now let's talk about a modern one that hits before your feet even touch the floor. Sixth, starting the day with stressful news or phone notifications. Your brain wakes with a natural cortisol rise, a useful switch that helps you feel alert. But if the first thing you feed it is a cascade of alarming headlines, angry messages, and financial worry, you've poured gasoline on that hormonal spark. Heart rate ticks up, vessels tighten, blood pressure jumps. In older adults, especially with stiff arteries. This emotional stress creates the same biology I see before morning strokes. One former pilot prided himself on being informed. He scrolled before getting out of bed, then stood quickly after a particularly upsetting headline. Minutes later, he was on the floor. He recovered with therapy, but he changed one thing that changed everything. His phone stays in airplane mode until mid-morning. He still reads the news, just after his brain and heart are fully online. Give your nervous system a calm buffer. Hydrate first. Breathe, stretch. Say a prayer, read something uplifting, or sit in quiet for 2 minutes. Turn off non-essential alerts. Bad news can wait. Your brain deserves peace before pressure. Now, even if you do everything above, one choice can remove the shield your brain counts on most. 7th, skipping or mistiming your morning medications. As we age, consistency is protection. Blood pressure pills blunt dangerous morning surges. Blood thinners prevent clots from forming in the heart and traveling north. Some heart and rhythm medications rely on steady timing for steady levels. When you skip or mistime doses, especially on a dehydrated, stressed morning, you've lowered the drawbridge for an enemy you can't see. I think of a retired florist. Bright scarves, bright smile, fiercely independent. Running late, she told herself she'd take her pills after her appointment. She didn't eat. She didn't drink water. She had atrial fibrillation. By late morning, a clot had formed and traveled. She survived, but she needed help with everyday tasks she once did joyfully. What haunts her most? I could have just taken my pills. Your practical plan? Use a weekly organizer, pair meds with a fixed habit, brushing your teeth, breakfast, or your morning water. Set an alarm. Take with water unless told otherwise. And don't adjust timing without asking your clinician. Many drugs have a reason behind morning or evening instructions. Engagement check. Do you use a pill box or reminder? 1 if yes, 0 if not yet. Next is a signal too many people shrug off as just getting older, and it's one I never want you to ignore. 8th, ignoring morning confusion or unusual forgetfulness. Not all strokes begin with a drooping face or a weak arm. Some start as a fog that lifts slowly. After a night of lower oxygen and lower blood flow, the brain needs a smooth return of fuel and pressure. If a small clot briefly blocks flow, the first sign may be confusion, disorientation, trouble finding a word, or feeling off in a way that's new. A retired librarian, sharp as a tack, had one of those mornings. She couldn't recall her grandson's name and felt oddly slowed. No pain, no fall. Just not herself. Imaging later showed a small ischemic event in a region that supports word retrieval. A silent stroke that wasn't silent at all. Her brain whispered, and thankfully, her family listened. Here's the rule. If you wake up noticeably off, especially if it's sudden, different from your usual forgetfulness, or paired with dizziness, blurred vision, imbalance, or weakness, do not wait it out. Call your clinician. If you suspect a stroke, call emergency services. We have time-sensitive treatments that can change outcomes, but only if you come in time. Finally, the habit a surprising number of older adults call no big deal, even as it nudges the brain toward trouble. 9th, skipping breakfast entirely. Your brain runs primarily on glucose. Steady, not high. Consistent, not chaotic. After 8 to 10 hours with no fuel, and often no fluids, skipping breakfast pushes your system to squeeze harder. Cortisol climbs, pressure fluctuates, blood thickens. If you're on medications that can lower blood sugar, that adds another variable your brain doesn't like. Breakfast doesn't need to be heavy. It needs to be real. Think, a boiled egg, a small handful of nuts, berries, or half a banana, a slice of whole grain toast, and yes, that glass of water. This stabilizes glucose, supports vessels, and takes your brain out of crisis mode. In short, feed your brain before you ask it to run your day. Engagement check. Do you currently eat something small in the morning? 1 for yes, 0 for working on it. Let's bring it together. Your final wake-up call. You've just seen how 9 ordinary morning choices can quietly raise stroke risk. Not because any one of them is evil, but because together they create the perfect storm at the exact hours the brain is most vulnerable. After a night of no fluids, during a hormonal surge, as pressure and flow restart. These events don't just take mobility. They can steal the parts of you that feel most like you, your words, your memory, your independence. Here's the best news I can give you. You can change the outcome. Mornings are a fresh page. What you write on it: hydrate first, pause before standing, relieve your bladder, delay caffeine, breathe before news, take your medicines on time, eat something real, move gently then build, becomes your first line of defense. Tomorrow when you open your eyes, do it differently. Sit up slowly. Drink water. Listen to your body's whispers. Protect your brain before the world asks anything of it. If this message helped you, type 1 in the comments. If you'd like a follow-up video with a brain-safe morning routine you can print and put by your bed, type 0 and I'll know to make it next. Like this video, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to Inspired Living for practical, evidence-based ways to protect your brain, extend your independence, and feel more like yourself for years to come. Your brain holds your stories, your voice, your laughter. Treat your mornings like they matter, because they do.